to work on a real quick tutorial and show you how to add alpha to your project. I have done this several times just because I'm rusty with it, especially if alpha is a little bit tricky, especially when you're looking at old tutorials, different interface of Substance Painter. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get into Substance Painter. We're going to go File, and we're going to bring in a new object. If you don't remember, you hit New, and we have to bring in the file. And so probably not a good idea, but I did use a dumpster FBX because if you remember in Maya, we assign each of those objects a separate texture, a diffuse material or Lambert material. And so it's really important because I know a lot of you are working on a truck or other objects or crystals and so forth. So you want other things in the scene to be not transparent. And so I wanted to show you how to do that. So when we bring in the dumpster, I want everything to be with this PBR material. All right, we're going to do 4K. Hit OK. We're going to bring it in. Okay. And typically we bake out the maps right away. And remember, when you bring in your objects, make sure they're UV mapped either in Substance, not Substance, but ZBrush or Maya. Use the UV editor in Maya, or in ZBrush, make sure you use the UV Master, which is really great on organic materials. All right, I'm going to try to make sure I get this right this time. Again, we're going to do the dumpster. We're just going to add the alpha to this. The rest of it, we want opacity. This one, we want an alpha. And it was my intention to do that from the get-go to show you how to make maybe rust, where the rust has eaten through and you can actually see through the object. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Typical tutorials will show you a drop-down menu where you can add a new shader. I don't know why this one's different. Maybe it's me, maybe my settings are different, but typically you can add a new shader. Right now there's a shader going through all of this. This is the PBR material, rough pass. And you think you would be able to change it here, but if I have it selected and I change the material, it's going to change everything. So we need to go down here and assign a new instance with it. So give me some time. It always takes me a little bit of a while to figure it out. Make sure you have that selected, whatever it is in your scene. If it's a figure, whatever, glass on a bus. And so we've got the main shader here, got it selected, and we're going to add a new shader instance. All right. And what that allows me to do is now assign a new material just to that, not to the others. The others are going to be a main. This is our dumpster base. So I'm going to go over here, click on it, and we're going to do a PBR with alpha blending. You could also do a PBR with alpha. This is more of a true false. It's either hot or cold. It's either transparent or not. We want to be able to have the ability to kind of paint maybe semi-transparent and so forth. Again, there are some tutorials that will show you really how to make glass and so forth, but I'm just kind of getting you started just to kind of cut through, make holes in opacities with your character or form. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just type in glass. Don't have to type that in at all. I don't know why I'm doing that. So we have this. And one last thing we need to do, and then we're going to bake out our map, is with this selected, we still don't have an opacity channel. So if you look, we have base color, height, roughness, metallic, and normal. And you're like, well, where's the opacity? So we have to actually add it. After all that, you still have to add opacity level. Okay, not level, map. All right, so there's our opacity. And we do, like always, we have to bake out our maps before we start painting. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You can do your 4K. If you're doing a really hero shot, you can do 8K if your computer can handle it. I don't think many can. I don't think even mine can handle it. Go ahead and bake that out. All right, so it's going to go through the dumpster, the drain pipe, and bar, and all that. So give it a second. You can fast forward it if you want. I don't think it takes that long. But you can see it's doing the normal world spacing, curvature, position, thickness, And I think if you look here, for some reason it doesn't do opacity, but that's okay. Let's do an ambient occlusion. All right, and again, you can scrub forward if you want. All right, this is taking forever. All right, you guys can definitely scrub forward. I think last time I did it went a lot quicker, but maybe with the ambient occlusion. All right, there it is right there. It's actually, no, that's no opacity. It is being thorough. All right, we're almost done. Hopefully you guys fast forward that. Oh, holy moly. All right, that took forever. It did not do that just a second ago. All right, so I'm going to actually turn off a couple of things just so we can just see our dumpster and show you how to kind of do some alpha painting with it. Again, this is going to be really quickly. I just want to demo this during class. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to do a painting, just a painting one. And again, you guys know how to grunge this up and do all the other different layers, but this one we're just going to work on our alpha. So if we scroll down with our painting tool, and we're going to go to our brushes also, and we're going to click on our opacity. All right, so normally if we had selected a different texture, our main shader does not have this, but you do have to click it on for it to work, or it won't work. So I'm going to turn off the color because we're not interested. We're actually just wanting to punch a hole into the surface. And normal, I do want to keep the rough and height. It's kind of going to be a cool feature that I want to show you. And I'm going to go to my hard brush, my basic hard brush, and we're going to go ahead and for opacity, to make it transparent, so you can see once you go into the black, you can see it goes into the negative and it'll be clear. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that. And you're like, well, it's just painting it gray. Well, that's true, but if I go onto the other side and I do that, you can see now it's transparent. All right, not that exciting, I know, but quickly that's how you can add an eye. Let's say if you have a character or a mask that has an eye. This is a really easy way versus doing that via modeling, let's say through Maya and doing polygons and so forth. So this is a really easy way to do that. So I do want to show you some really cool stuff that you can do, and hopefully I can show. Hopefully I'll remember to show you my work and how I do that. So ink splatter is really cool. So if I click on that, you can see if I go through onto the other side, you can see that kind of ink splatter is going on. All right, kind of interesting. But let's see if we added a roughness to that. So if I go up here, you can see that roughness patch will start, or I'm sorry, height will start to add some coolness to it. All right, you can see it starts, see that ridging up. If I go to a negative height, I don't know why I was saying roughness earlier. Right, so you can see how you can punch it in and out. Also, we can play around with our opacity. Right now we have it completely transparent. And so I can also go in here and add a little bit of transparency on that. So now we can see a little bit of frosting. And we can just continue on with that. We can make that frosting even a little bit less opaque or transparent. All right, so this is a cool thing about this. You can do all kinds of different brushes, channels. I don't know what that is. All right. So this is a really cool way to add some dimensionality to your forms. All right. And so this was the original idea for the dumpster, was to come down here and add some rust, you know, where it's been rusted out. And then we could add some rust color on top of that, and then we would add another layer and start painting on top of that. All right. So I'm going to stop it there. Again, make sure you save your file. I'm going to save this really quickly and save. And I'm just going to dump it on my desktop. There's about a million things on my desktop. I need to definitely delete it over the break. That's funny. Dumpster _2. All right. And I'm going to call this alpha. All right, hopefully today I'll be able to show you how to export this and how to bring all those with opacity, all the other channels out, and then bring it into Unreal Game Engine. I just ran out of time today. But anyways, that's really quickly how you add that. Again, it is kind of complicated because this is a shader just for that guy, and the rest of them are just regular PBR materials. All right, so hopefully I need to get ready for class, but hopefully that'll get us started, and then hopefully right after class I will make the next tutorial. All right, good luck.